Welcome to Submitting to the Alpha, a spicy paranormal romance web serial. Dive into Isabella and Roman's sizzling shifter romance and experience the thrill of toying with an alpha like never before. Join the adventure now. We hope you enjoy.
Chapter 36. Isabella. Like the hair, killer. Raj rocked back and forth on his heels, sending me one of his signature smirks. The one he said got all the ladies, but I hadn't seen any ladies that he'd ever been with. I removed my mate's necklace for training and placed it into my bag where it'd be safe. Stop calling me that. But it suits you. He tugged his shirt over his head and tossed it onto the ground next to me. Up the left side of his brown abdomen, he had a string of moonflower tattoos. I've killed 2 rogues so far. I held up 2 fingers for emphasis, then removed my shirt and pointed to the tattoos on my back to make sure he fully understood that I was no rogue killer. Yet. He rubbed a hand against his scruff, his dark eyes taking in my tattoos. Exactly. A killer. I narrowed my eyes at him and jogged to catch up with the rest of the lichens who were warming up. We lunged from one side of the training area to the other, and Raj lunged next to me. Are you making fun of me? I asked, giving him a side eye. Only if you want me to. I cut my eyes to him. Yeah, I would love if you made fun of me, I said sarcastically. It's always been my dream. My only dream. I knew it. Riker cleared his throat, and we looked over to see everyone finished with their warm-up and staring at us. If you 2 are done flirting, we'd like to start training, Riker said with a tense smile on his face. Raj pointed at me, then to an open corner of the field. We wrestled for about a half hour, each taking turns throwing and pinning each other to the ground. Though he was stronger than me, I kept up with him easily. Unlike the first night I practiced with the lichens, I quickly figured out his movement patterns, and could even spot when he was about to try a takedown on me. With the right practice and the right people, I made improvements that I couldn't ever achieve in Roman's pack. Riker didn't practice with us, just watched the way Raj and I pushed each other after every takedown, after every flirty comment, after every pin. At one point, Raj caught me off guard and flipped me onto my stomach, pressing the side of my head into the ground. Dirt rubbed into my cheek and I inhaled a whiff. I spit it out, escaped his hold, and turned him over onto his back, holding him to the ground for 1, 2, 3 seconds. Raj curled one arm under my leg, another around the back of my head, and tossed me above him. I did a somersault out of his grip and stood back up to face my enemy. Covered in dirt and bruises that hurt, oh so good, we stalked around each other. My chest heaved up and down, my heart racing in my chest. Riker nodded in our direction and shouted, Practice is over for tonight. Bella, stay back, he said. I need to talk to you. Raj playfully pushed his shoulder into mine. Ooh, talking to the big man. He shook his head. Someone's in trouble. You too, Raj, Riker said. I gave him a sly smirk and mocked him for mocking me. Once I clipped my mate's necklace back onto me, and he tugged his shirt back over his head, Riker handed us a manila folder. I'm putting you both on a solo mission. Solo? I asked. Only the best of the best went on solo missions. He nodded his head. You 2 work very well together. You have chemistry. Raj nudged me again. You hear that, killer? We have chemistry. I scrunched up my nose. What does that have to do with anything? Riker paused for a moment, like he was contemplating something, then nodded. This is a different mission. Unlike the typical stray rogue who wanders onto pack properties, there is a group of rogues that are working together. I want you to find out where their hideout is. There will be no killing on this mission. We need information so we can raid their hideout and stop them once and for all." Raj took the file from me, read it for a moment, and looked up. "They're going to be at the Night Raiders Cafe? A bunch of rogues?" "The cafe is having a party during the full moon this Friday. All the packs in the area are invited, which means there will be many alphas there. Since this particular group is targeting alphas, I expect there to be some rogues in attendance." "What do you mean that they're targeting alphas?" I asked, voice wavering. Though Roman didn't want me, I still wanted to keep him safe. Luna Rhea died in a rogue attack, and I didn't want Roman to have the same fate. If he was in danger, I would do anything to stop it. "They're killing alphas and taking their land and people." Raj furrowed his brows. "How many have they killed already?" Riker sucked in a breath. 3. I nearly choked on the fucking air. 3? I shook my head. "How?" Riker sighed, looking much tenser than usual. "I don't know, but I need you to figure out where they're hiding out. I don't care how you do it. Flirt with them if you have to, but they can't die. We need them to lead you to their lair." After showering, Raj and I ran to the cafe to scope it out before Friday, so we could create our best plan of action. So far, our only plan was to flirt with the rogues and hope they'd bring us back to their hideout. But I wasn't sure if I'd be able to flirt with someone who wasn't my mate or my friend. Flirting with Raj was easy because he was naturally good at it. With rogues who were in here to find an alpha, to kill an alpha, to take an alpha's land and his people, it would be difficult to convince them to take me home. I would have to cover my lichen tattoo and take off my necklace. Raj stepped into the buzzing early morning crowd at the cafe, shook his hips back and forth seductively, and looked back at me. "Such a tight space for a club, but they don't call it dirty dancing for nothing. A small, tight space filled with sweaty bodies that you have to grind against just to move?" He chuckled. "Seems like my kind of party." Wait for it. "Especially if you're my date." There it was. I picked my hazelnut coffee up from the counter, yawning. "Why do you insist on flirting with me?" "I flirt with everyone. It's my job." "Your job is to kill rogues." "Killer, you're still so new. You don't know that there are subgroups in the lichens. Some groups are pure warriors and kill. Some flirt and get important information." He smirked and placed an arm around my shoulder. "I happen to do both." "What about Riker? What is he?" He nudged me. "Why, do you have a crush on him?" "No, I just haven't seen him kill many rogues, and he gets awfully flirty," I said, cheeks flushing as I remembered earlier before practice. "He goes out on a lot of solo missions to kill rogues, but he is highly skilled in flirting." He wiggled his brows at me. "Well, long time no see, stranger," Vanessa said in that high-pitched, screechy-ass voice. I pressed my lips together and gazed over at her. She walked into the cafe, swinging her purse in her hand, wearing an oversized t-shirt and a pair of heels. "I almost didn't recognize you. You look different. Pretty." She curled a finger around my hair and watched it bounce. Her eyes drifted from me to Raj, to his arm around my shoulders. I shrugged him off. "Wow, thanks, Vanessa," I said, sarcasm dripping from every word. Her hair was ruffled slightly, like she had just rolled out of bed. I inhaled and tensed when I realized how good she smelt. "2 cappuccinos for Vanessa?" the barista said. Vanessa grabbed the coffees and smiled at us. "Well, I should get going. Don't want to keep Roman waiting. I'll tell him you and your boyfriend said hello. My heart dropped. Roman. That's what her shirt smelt like. Fucking Roman. I stared at her from behind. Why the fuck did she have his shirt on? And why was she getting him coffee? Was she fucking Roman now? Decided to make her fucking move after I moved out? I stepped forward, ready to follow her, when Raj grabbed my arm and tugged me back. Lycans don't make rash decisions, he said. I clenched my jaw and watched her drive off in her stupid Mercedes. My hand tightened into a fist, and my coffee spilt all over my stomach. Though it was hot, it didn't sting as much as this, as much as betrayal, as much as rejection. My wolf whimpered inside of me. We were hurting. Isabella? Raj asked, brows furrowed together. The logical part of me knew that Vanessa always liked to stir up trouble. This was probably an elaborate scheme to fuck with me even when I was gone. I shouldn't have believed her, but I did. She was wearing his fucking shirt. Izzy! Derek walked into the cafe, his brown hair tousled. Derek tugged me into a familiar, big bear hug. Since I left, I hadn't seen him. We had texted back and forth every day, but hours between texts weren't the same thing as an instant reaction from him like I was used to. There had been too many rogues lately to see him. How have you been? He asked. When I didn't answer, he pulled away and looked between me and Raj. What's wrong? I should have been as happy to see him as he was to see me, since I hadn't seen him in over 2 weeks. But how could I be happy when Vanessa was wearing Roman's shirt? Derek, I said quietly, not wanting to seem weak in front of Raj. I asked you to watch Roman. Derek's eyes widened, and just for a moment his gaze drifted to the ground like he was guilty. I grabbed his hand, squeezing so fucking desperately. Derek, I whispered, tears threatening to fall. Please, don't tell me he and Vanessa are together. I shook my head, feeling a stray tear fall. Please. He didn't say anything, just tensed. My lips parted in disbelief, and it felt like my whole world came crashing down. 2 weeks. I had been gone for 2 weeks. That's it. Oh, moon goddess, they are. Derek sucked in a breath and put his hands on my shoulders. Isabella, I'm not sure what's going on between them. All I know is that they've been spending more time than usual together. Something happened at Vanessa's house, and she claimed that she couldn't live in it, so he offered to let her stay in the pack house with him. Tears filled my eyes until everything was blurry. Derek, Raj, my whole future. Raj squeezed my shoulder, and I pulled away from Derek. Why didn't you tell me? He pressed his lips together. I thought it would only be for a day or 2. He shook his head, wiping the tears from my cheeks. I even offered for her to stay at my house with me so she would stay away from him, but they both refused. My heart ached so fucking bad. I'm sorry, Isabella, Derek said, but it didn't make anything better. It hurt as bad as his rejection would.
You've reached the end of this episode. Thanks for listening. To get up to 4 weeks additional uncensored content, subscribe to the podcast at reamstories.com/Amelia Rose Audio. Due to content restrictions, explicit sex scenes will only be available through Ream, but if you'd like to continue listening to my free episodes, make sure to hit the follow button to receive updates.